The awards were set up with myself and Shay Fitzmaurice, who is the publisher of Public Sector Times. And really the whole idea was that we both were seeing incredible work being done in different government departments. This is at the very beginning of digitising online services. But what was very clear was that there were learnings happening in one department or one area of government that were not being shared by another. So everybody was kind of starting from scratch, building up their own knowledge, building up their own infrastructure to support it. And it just didn't seem sane to be doing that. And we thought that the way you could bring people together to understand what they could possibly learn from each other or leverage in terms of the technology that somebody was implementing within their department was to bring them together. Well, I'll tell you a story. So Martin Wells, he's the MD of Air Business. And he was sitting on a plane, I don't know where he was flying, I think into Brussels or Belgium or somewhere, and he was sitting on the plane, and as you do on a plane, you start talking to your neighbour. And the neighbour on the plane happened to be a very, very senior consultant in McKinsey, particularly working on digital transformation projects. And Martin asked him, you know, what project, of all the projects you've seen across the world, which project really stood out for you as just amazing, the best in the world? And this is, by the way, when Martin Wells wasn't working in Ireland. He's a Scottish person. And the answer was Ross, Revenue Online Services. And the reason was because he said the ambition and the kind of level of vision that they had was so big that and of course how they delivered it, how they implemented it was so strong that they were way ahead of everybody else. And also, you know, people got promoted, let's be frank, because of the work they were doing. So, you know, it highlighted their abilities and what they were able to deliver, so they got promotions. And then we also saw ideas that were just a little tiny gem, you know, a little tiny seed that then became something much more important and then was able to be applied in a much broader way. So for example, if you remember the digital repository, which won a couple of years ago, that has now become, I suppose, a template for how you can take, you know, really good resources and assets that lie within government departments and then kind of push them out into the public. So Ireland is a kind of it's a place where things can happen in online government. I think at the moment, this year in particular, that I've seen better and larger numbers of projects than we've seen for a long time. So I think there's a whole resurgence again to push forward the digital strategy for Ireland, and you can see that. So this year, for example, we have 4 times the number of entries we've had last year. So there's an awful lot going on, and the standards are still incredibly high, and we're seeing firsts again. There's a couple of entries this year that are firsts worldwide.